It's Thursday, April 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And spring cleaning your finances. Our partners at Allen Marshall and Associates will join us with tips on getting your money situation in order. That's in our second hour.
Plus, a waking nightmare. We head back to Beaverbank to learn more about the horrors that lie ahead in Season 4 of From. All that and so much more just ahead on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Well, hello, welcome to your day. It is almost 6:01 on this Thursday, April 23rd. So glad you can join us. Now, it is April 23rd. The calendar in many cases may make it feel like it's March 1st.
Yeah.
It's a time. But I recall last year, and we're better off than that, we had rainy weekends 11 weeks in a row.
I remember, yeah.
It's not like that this year, at least.
No, which is good, as we mentioned, for the spring freshet in New Brunswick in terms of flood watch. Those river levels, the St. John River levels, staying steady, which is good news. We don't want to see an increase there, but it is so cold. It's been so cold and windy. I'm ready for some heat and some sunshine.
Bring it on, bring it on. But I think I overheard maybe flurries.
Yeah. We have a wintry mix. A low chance, though, for showers and or flurries for the Maritime region a little bit later on. But yes, as Amanda mentioned, it is quite cold outside. As of right now, 2 degrees starting off your day in Halifax. So a bit warmer than we saw Wednesday morning, but still on the cooler side of things for many areas across the region, some even below the freezing mark. We are going to see temperatures warm up a bit, but still remaining well below seasonal for our daytime highs. It is -7 right now in Sydney, -1 in Charlottetown, 3 degrees in Fredericton, -11 in Labrador City, and -3 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in early this morning. We are seeing the wind chill also factoring in for Newfoundland and Labrador. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We are still seeing active weather for Newfoundland and Labrador, looking at snow, freezing drizzle, and rain. And for the Maritime region, a low chance of showers and or flurries will return into the afternoon. In terms of our wind, it's going to remain quite light for all 3 Maritime provinces. 22 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, with 15 in Moncton, as well as the Grand Manan, 11 in Fredericton and St. John, New Brunswick. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells, and they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll, and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development, but critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. Ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session, with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like healthcare. The price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel jumped by 8.4 cents a litre. The maximum price now $2.18.5. The price of gas did not change in New Brunswick, and pump prices in Nova Scotia and PEI also did not change. Nearly 5 years after the fact, police in St. John have arrested 3 people in the death of a local woman.
As a result of a lengthy and complex investigation that was led by the St. John Police Major Crime Unit, 3 arrests have been made in relation to the death of Courtney McKenzie.
The body of 27-year-old Courtney McKenzie was found a week after she was reported missing in May of 2021. Police have arrested and charged 39-year-old Terrence Keller on a number of offenses related to McKenzie's death, including manslaughter, kidnapping, forcible confinement, and assault. A 40-year-old man was also arrested for being an accessory after the fact and for improperly interfering with human remains. A 37-year-old woman who was arrested and released 3 years ago is also facing charges, including improperly interfering with human remains. A man has been charged with aggravated assault after a youth was badly injured in Wagmat, Cookook. Police were called to a school on Shore Road around 4 Sunday morning. The victim had life-threatening injuries after some kind of altercation. 19-year-old Landon Francis later turned himself in to police in Bedc. He's been released pending future court appearances. There's no word this morning on the extent of damage to an apartment building following a fire in downtown Halifax yesterday. Clouds of thick black smoke poured from a fire at a construction site on Cogswell Street Wednesday. Some building materials sitting between the new high-rise and a house went up in flames just after the noon hour. It sparked evacuations and a major response from Halifax Fire. In fact, about 10 fire trucks and supporting units responded and helped about a dozen people get out of the vicinity.
The thing was the smoke, it was the type of material. So when you get a lot of construction debris, a lot of it's petroleum-based, which gives off that heavy black smoke. So that's what we encountered when we arrived.
No injuries were reported. Cogswell Street was closed while crews investigated, but by late afternoon, workers were back inside. Nurses will soon be working in every one of New Brunswick's special care homes, with the hope the move will ease pressure on the healthcare system.
This means that people are going to be able to get more timely access to care, and they're going to get care close to home, or at home in these cases.
People can have very complex care needs, either in their own home or in our special care homes. And prior to this, we were doing great, we were strong, but now we have this secret sauce available in our homes that we didn't have before.
The Extramural program provides access to nursing and clinical support for seniors and people with disabilities and is now available to all 424 special care homes in the province. Now, more than 7,000 New Brunswickers are getting nursing care where they live and not in a hospital bed. Finally, PEI has sold its cache of American alcohol, and local charities are reaping the benefits. The province is donating $600,000 to organizations like the Salvation Army in Charlottetown and Summerside and the Montague Food Bank. You'll remember the American alcohol was pulled off liquor store shelves to protest U.S. tariffs, and several other provinces have been doing the same thing. But because of those sales, $600,000 going to the Salvation Army and the Montague Food Bank.
Amazing.
Great, helping people in need. Fantastic. All right, this is an interesting thing. I thought you might find this maybe surprising. Tofino, BC is making history as Canada's first municipality to ban single-use plastic water bottles. So the ban is now in effect and applies to water bottles that are 1 liter in size or smaller. Council made the announcement to its single-use item regulation bylaw last summer, but they wanted to give local businesses time to sell their existing inventory. Several Canadian municipalities have imposed restrictions on selling plastic water bottles in civic facilities, but Tofino says it's the first to ban selling them entirely.
Wow. Interesting to know, too, if you're visiting there maybe over the summer and you're thinking, oh, my gosh, I could use some water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe get some boxed water. Maybe they should stock those. I don't know.
Well, it's just, I think they're trying to obviously encourage people to bring their own.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, I guess you could just get a larger than 1 liter size. People are just drinking a lot more water now. They have to just have like a 2 liter.
That's true. As a kid, how did we get by? I feel like we would just like have all day. We would have a sip from the water fountain.
That is true. It's true. It's true. Like when what was it? Evian was the first one to come up with the bottled water. To my memory, I don't know if this is true. I'm not a zoologist nor someone who tracks cultural trends, but in my own experience, I just kind of remember that was the first bottled water, and I was like, why would you pay for water? But now it's
fair.
It's a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right, still ahead. We're going to have your first look at your national and international news headlines on this Thursday morning. And Latavia also has the forecast as well. Good morning to our viewers on the South Shore in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. I wonder when we're going to see the Blue Nose too, or the Blue Nose heading back out. The forecast up next.
Beautiful sunrise starting off your day over in Bedc. Welcome back. The time now is 6:13 on your Thursday morning. Sunshine over in Bedc starting off the day. We will be seeing sunshine stick around into the afternoon before a chance of showers moves in. But we are starting off quite cold, -4 degrees early this morning over in Bedc. And we are seeing temperatures pretty cool this morning, a bit warmer than yesterday, though. 2 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, -7 in Sydney with -1 in Charlottetown, 3 degrees in Fredericton, -12 in Labrador City, and -3 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. We are starting to see that system from yesterday begin to move out of much of Newfoundland, still holding on to some flurry activity, snow mixed with rain, and that continues to track across much of Labrador today. For the Maritime region, starting off the day with some sunshine, we are going to see a low chance of showers and or flurries return, around a 30% chance of it happening to parts of all 3 Maritime provinces. Then into the afternoon, that transitions over to a low chance of showers for the remainder of the day. Taking us into this evening, we do see a low chance of showers and or flurries return, and that will continue in our forecast for Friday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, only seeing around 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 Maritime provinces, and then looking at 2 to 10 centimeters across Labrador and 2 to 10 as well for parts of Newfoundland. For our rainfall outlook, we are going to see around 2 to 5 millimeters for Amherst. Other than that, 2 to 5 millimeters as well for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and St. Anthony. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, seeing a bit of sunshine, but also a low chance of showers and or flurries today. Daytime highs will range from 3 to 8 degrees, and pretty light wind out of the southwest, only getting up to 15 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island, highs between 4 to 7 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers expected into the afternoon. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at lots of sunshine. Starting off your day, we do have a low chance of showers and or flurries moving in this afternoon. Daytime highs will range from 3 to 8. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs will range from 4 to 7 degrees. Showers and or flurries expected into the afternoon. For Labrador City, -2 degrees. Looking at some light snowfall, transitioning over to freezing drizzle into the evening, and 3 degrees for your daytime high in St. John's, Newfoundland. Flurries throughout your day, and then clearing out into the late afternoon and evening, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Friday's forecast will warm up, but still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. A chance of showers and or flurries tracks across the Maritime region, also across much of Labrador. Into Friday night, we start to see the system break down, clear out, but we do have mixed precipitation remaining in Newfoundland. And then for Saturday's forecast, temperatures now climb up to seasonal. A cloudier day ahead. We do have some looming showers for parts of the Maritime region, Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing a wintry mix. That's a look at your weather. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Trade talks are heating up between Canada and the U.S. The Americans have cited certain trade irritants need to be addressed before CUSMA negotiations can begin. But the Prime Minister responded by saying, we have some on our side as well. CTV's Mike Couture has more on the sticking points and what it means for the deal.
They just treat us unfairly at every margin they possibly can.
The U.S. Commerce Secretary describing the trading relationship with Canada to fellow American lawmakers. And Howard Lutnick once again brought up a key gripe.
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf. It is insulting.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada has to make concessions to get back to the negotiating table.
It's not a case of the United States dictates the terms. We have the negotiation. We can come to a mutually successful outcome. It will take some time.
A prudent strategy, according to this trade lawyer.
I think where Canada is drawing a line right now is this idea that we're going to give away the house before we even sit down to negotiate. And that puts negotiators in a very difficult situation.
The U.S. has already outlined other irritants, including limited American access to the Canadian dairy market and the Online Streaming Act, which brings American platforms under Canadian broadcast rules.
We've made some counter proposals, which they're aware, and the time will come to really roll up our sleeves.
At the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer said the bigger issue is that the two countries have opposing philosophies on trade.
They're doubling down on globalization when we're trying to correct for the problems of globalization. So those are two models that don't fit together very well.
Now, Canada's approach could become more clear tomorrow at the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs. That's when we'll hear from Canada's ambassador to the U.S. for the first time.
CTV's Mike Lucador reporting, and that meeting of the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs will take place today in Ottawa. Just hours after Donald Trump extended the ceasefire, Iran fired at 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz and seized 2 of them. The Iranian regime released this video claiming to show its troops massed and armed seizing commercial ships. Trump vowed to continue to blockade Iranian ports. Iran says there will be no peace talks until the blockade is lifted. The high cost of jet fuel caused by the conflict is putting the squeeze on airlines. CTV's Jean-Pierre Beauchemin with the latest sign the upcoming summer travel season could be a chaotic one.
At the airport, the excitement of travel is dimmed by worries over flight plans.
Well, we booked our trip a long time ago, and so thankfully we got a very good discount. And now if I was traveling, I think I would probably wait till after summer and see if things calm down and see what happens with the world.
Transat is canceling hundreds of flights, pointing to soaring jet fuel prices and a looming shortage in Europe. It says the changes represent a 6% reduction in capacity, affecting routes in Europe and the Caribbean. The suspension of service to Cuba is extended until October.
I'm just crossing my fingers.
Rebecca O'Sullivan booked a dream European vacation with Transat months ago for her 40th wedding anniversary.
So it's just, I'm in a state of limbo, and I'm sure so many people are in a state of limbo, you know, and there's nothing we can do.
Air Canada and WestJet have also trimmed capacity, while Lufthansa has cut 20,000 short-haul flights. United Airlines said today its prices may have to rise by 20%.
This is the biggest crisis the airline industry has had.
In Canada, airlines need to rebook passengers on cancelled or delayed flights on the next available one, departing within 48 hours. But that may not be a solution.
If there's no flight to go within 48 hours, what do? So refunds are the only thing in town. So there's a bunch of rules that are going to have to be looked at again.
And insurance may not cover other costs, classifying this crisis as an act of war.
Refunding my flight does nothing for me because I still have to pay, you know, quite a bit of money for my tour. So refunding me, I don't want a refund from the airline. I want to get there.
And as airlines pass on some of the expense to travelers, some say they'll just have to stay closer to home. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
And Justice Minister Sean Fraser announced federal supports for victims and survivors of gender-based violence.
It takes more than changes to our criminal laws if we're going to build a safer country and offer protection to the victims of crime, and particularly work with the community organizations and the people who are dealing with and surviving gender-based violence. Supporting the front line is going to be a key part of that. That includes not only more resources for law enforcement, but support for community organizations.
Ottawa is giving provinces and territories nearly $9 million a year to improve victim services. $1 million is earmarked for victims of human trafficking, and over $3 million will support children and teens who are victims of abuse. Another break here on your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your top business headlines, plus your must-see moment from TSN. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100.
Okay, A, that music is amazing.
Yep.
B, that beaver image is amazing.
Right? Throwing it way back.
Way back.
1851.
3 pence for a stamp. Amazing. All right, it's 6:25. Time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We are taking a trip to Seattle for this one. It is the Athletics and Mariners, top one. We got runners in the corners. Carlos Cortez drills the comebacker, and Logan Gilbert appears to make the catch. But check out the replay. The ball going right into his jersey. What are the odds? Since the Mariners pitcher never caught the ball, it's ruled a single. The rule book stating the catch must be secured in the hand or glove if a ball lodges in a player's jersey. It is not a legal catch and results in a dead ball, often ruled a single. Very strange play for your must-see moment from Wednesday. Meanwhile, tonight we've got a doubleheader of NBA playoff action for you. First, it is the Knicks and Hawks in Game 3, followed up by the Nuggets and T-Wolves. It all begins 7 p.m. Eastern over on TSN 3 and 5. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Thursday.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
And now it's time for your business headlines from our colleagues over at BNN.
This time it's Air Transat scaling back, cutting hundreds of flights from its schedule. From May to October, flights will be reduced by 6%. That means fewer flights to Europe and the Caribbean, including Cuba. The company CEO says there is an exceptional environment affecting the entire sector. Both Air Canada and WestJet have already done the same. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar barely changed at 73.14. West Texas Intermediate up over $3 to 92.56. Western Canadian Select up over $2 to 70.78. And the TSX gained 146 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a low chance of showers and or flurries returns this afternoon, a high of 7. A mix of sun and cloud on Friday. We do have isolated showers returning into the afternoon, though, with a high of 6. 10 degrees on Saturday, a bit of sunshine with increasing cloudiness. For others, seeing cloudy skies starting off the day. For Nova Scotia, 5 degrees as your daytime high. Lots of sunshine early in the morning before a low chance of showers and or flurries returns. On Friday, 6 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Showers and or flurries returns yet again for parts of the province. And on Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. Yet again, a low chance of a wintry mix. For Prince Edward Island, 6 degrees with sunshine early in the morning and isolated showers into the afternoon. A mix of sun and cloud on Friday with a high of 4. Flurries into the evening. Showers and flurries expected on Saturday with a high of 5.
Just ahead in this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. Today is National Picnic Day, and we want to know your favorite spots for al fresco dining. That's coming up in this half hour of Your Morning Atlantic.
To Canada. Thank you for joining us. It is 6:31 on your Thursday morning, almost closer to the weekend. You feel like every day maybe around spring, like, okay, it's going to be warmer tomorrow. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. Not necessarily the truth. Like, I would love to have a nice picnic, but I got to tell you, patio season can be really nice, but I don't like it when it's super windy.
Yes.
Or if you're in the shade. Yeah. So
you can find a little nook, because often even if it really is windy, when you get that little nook, if you got the afternoon sun, it can be pretty warm in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's cold today, right? It feels like it.
No picnics today, at least not outdoors. As of right now, it is 3 degrees in Fredericton. Cloudy start to your day. We will be seeing a bit of sunshine into the mid to late afternoon, but we are also expecting a low chance of showers and or flurries across the Maritime region. Make sure to layer up before heading outdoors. We're still seeing a cold start to the day, although a bit warmer than yesterday morning. -1 in Charlottetown, -7 in Sydney, 2 degrees in Halifax, -5 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 0 in St. Anthony. Here's a look at the wind chill factoring in for the Maritimes. It's also factoring in early this morning for Newfoundland and Labrador. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, still seeing snow mixed with rain for parts of Newfoundland, as well as across much of Labrador. For the Maritime region, a low chance of flurries and or showers will return across all 3 Maritime provinces this afternoon. In terms of the wind, it's starting off quite light, will remain so. As of right now, 15 kilometers per hour in Halifax, St. John, New Brunswick, and Grand Manan, 11 into Moncton. No wind gusts to report. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells. And they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development. Critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. Ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like healthcare. The price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel increased by 8.4 cents. The maximum price now $2.18.5. Price of gas did not change in New Brunswick, and pump prices in Nova Scotia and PEI also did not change overnight. Nearly 5 years after the fact, police in St. John have arrested 3 people in the death of a local woman.
As a result of a investigation that was led by the St. John Police Major Crime Unit, 3 arrests have been made in relation to the death of Courtney McKenzie.
The body of 27-year-old Courtney McKenzie was found a week after she was reported missing in May of 2021. Police have arrested and charged 39-year-old Terrence Keeler on a number of offenses related to McKenzie's death, including manslaughter, kidnapping, forcible confinement, and assault. A 40-year-old man was also arrested for being an accessory after the fact and for improperly interfering with human remains. A 37-year-old woman who was arrested and released 3 years ago is facing charges including improperly interfering with human remains. With local elections looming in New Brunswick, some former mayors are opening up about personal attacks and harassment they faced on the job. In a candid discussion on a podcast, some former city leaders admitted they sometimes faced real threats and danger.
My son was physically assaulted twice. I got lots of death threats, lots of anonymous accounts, followed down alleys.
There was a man in jail, I don't know if he still is, for threatening my life. I got 2,500 life-threatening emails in a 24-hour period once.
The Union of Municipalities of New Brunswick has been calling for a stronger framework at the local level to deal with harassment in local politics. New Brunswick is extending the tourism season at one of the province's most popular spots. Parley Beach near Shediac will have its season pushed back to mid-October. It's part of the province's plan to increase tourism revenues by keeping some places open longer. Officials have earmarked about $100,000 to make it happen. The Village Historique Acadien is another site that will see more days. Meantime, news isn't so good for another tourist site along the Bay of Fundy. The board of directors of Cape Enrage Interpretive Center announcing yesterday the site will not reopen. The board is blaming the lack of a formal operating contract from the New Brunswick government, as well as funding cuts. The attraction near Alma has been popular for its zip lining and cliff rappelling, welcoming thousands of visitors every summer. Finally, Nova Scotia author Rachel Reid and Canadian director Jacob Tierney, they drew a major fan response at BookCon in New York City as their series Heated Rivalry continues to surge in popularity.
Since this is BookCon, I'm going to assume your cheers are going to be even louder for the woman who started this all, New York Times best-selling author Rachel Reid.
The HBO Max adaptation of Reid's hockey romance novels has boosted the sport's visibility and launched its cast to fame. Tierney plans to begin filming season 2 this summer, while Reid is working on a third book. Both are expected in 2027. Reid also shared challenges balancing sudden fame and her Parkinson's diagnosis while continuing to write. Now, the whole panel discussion is up on their YouTube page. If you go to BookCon's website, you can see it. But she talks about the pressure of writing these books too. Like, she always felt the pressure when she was writing the second book, The Long Game, but now that it's such a global success, she's really thinking like, okay, this is even more.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
She can go anywhere she wants. She just call up at a country, be like, hi, it's Rachel Reid, and they would be, here's the red carpet.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's so cool to see a Nova Scotia author, like a maritime author, just take over the global stage, to see her books front and center in every bookstore you step in. It's awesome.
Her books and the show got a lot of people through this cold winter, that's for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All right, we've got a fantastic new contest to tell you about right now. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. I've got some thoughts.
All the books you want.
You can, though. Head to our contest page at ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code you're about to see on your screen shortly. You simply have to input this code word. Relax is our code word today for the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest. Good luck to you. Enter today and then tune in again and enter tomorrow. Every weekday for the next little bit, we're going to have your chance to win.
Relax. Still ahead.
That was calming.
It was very calming, wasn't it? We're going to head to Hollywood for your entertainment headlines. I know, we're going to wake you up, though. Coming up, it's the Move Morning Chat. Today, we want to know, what's your favorite picnic spot? We want to know and what you love about having a good old picnic. That conversation after the break.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 6:43. We're taking a live look at Charlottetown, -1 starting off your day. We'll be seeing sunshine as clouds continue to clear out, but we do have a low chance of some isolated showers expected in your area into the afternoon. Another cool start to the day, a bit warmer than Wednesday morning though. But we are still seeing -7 degrees starting off your day in Sydney, with 2 degrees in Halifax, looking at 3 currently in Fredericton, and -12 in Labrador City, -3 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing active weather tracking across the region. We do have a bit of sunshine earlier this morning for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. However, we do have a low chance of showers and or flurries returning today. For Labrador, looking at snow mixed with rain, also seeing a bit of snow mixed with rain for parts of Newfoundland, but we'll continue to clear out of that province into the afternoon. Into the afternoon, that chance of flurries transitions over to a low chance of showers, but a low chance of showers and or flurries will return across parts of all 3 maritime provinces into the overnight hours tonight, carrying into early Friday morning. But if you're wondering about totals, we're looking at only like 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, 2 to 10 across Newfoundland and Labrador. For our rainfall outlook, only seeing 2 to 5 millimeters for Amherst, and then for Newfoundland and Labrador, 2 to 5 millimeters as well. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a bit of sunshine starting off the day for parts of the province, seeing a chance of showers and or flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs will range from 3 to 8 degrees and pretty light wind out of the southwest, 15 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off the day, a low chance of isolated showers into the afternoon with highs between 4 to 7. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Starting off the day with sunshine, seeing a low chance of showers and or flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs will range from 3 to 8. For the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 4 to 7. We are going to see a low chance of showers and or flurries today. And for Labrador City, looking at light snowfall transitioning over to freezing drizzle into the evening, a high of -2, 3 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at Flurry activity will clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies. So Friday's forecast will warm up, but still remain below seasonal for many areas across the region. A low chance of showers and or flurries will continue across parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Also seeing mixed precipitation for Labrador, a few showers for parts of Newfoundland. And then into Friday night, we have another system making its way over, bringing snow back around for Newfoundland. For the maritime region, we start to see this precipitation clear out. But into Saturday's forecast, a low chance of showers returns and seasonal daytime highs. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to the Move Morning Chat.
Aaron Hopkins and Peter Harrison join us for the Move Morning Chat. You see, yeah, we got the logo, so you know, and the music. Nice. We got it all. We're in the middle of spring, though we've had some really cold days. It is making us think, though, about when's it going to be really nice and hot and sunny, and then you can go eat outside and go have a picnic. So Aaron and Peter, where do you like to picnic, or how do you picnic?
I have a favorite spot that I go to multiple times in the summer, and if you don't look for it really closely, you might miss it. But if you ever head down to Lawrencetown Beach, this is where I like to go. But I'm not actually on the beach itself. On the way to Lawrencetown Beach, just outside of Halifax, before you come down the big, gorgeous hill where you see those waves crashing on the sand, there's just a little bit of a turnoff. You can park your car, and it's just past the Lawrencetown Beach Cafe. You go up the hill a little bit, and there's a gorgeous, gorgeous view. And I have been there so many times. I sometimes will get takeout, or I'll pack a little picnic myself and sit up on that hill and take in the view of the ocean. It is my favorite spot in the world.
Ooh. All right. Well, I got to tell you, I'm glad you mentioned the beach. Mine is on the beach, and really it's all beaches. I have a shot of one beach in particular, and the food that we had on that beach at that time. This is a shot of a beach in southern Italy where we were a few years ago, and this is a pasta frittata that our cousins brought along to the beach. It was amazing, memorable. I think about it often, but I do love all beach picnics in general, bringing something along. Of course, you have to be careful of the sand, but I love just having something special on the beach. It can be romantic. It could be great family time, but beach picnics are the absolute best for me.
Oh, a beach picnic in Italy? Chef's kiss. Wow. What a dream. For me, yeah, definitely like to go to the beach as well if I'm having a picnic. Not necessarily on the sand if I can avoid it, but sometimes I will if I have like a little tent with us. Do a nice little lookout at the ocean while we eat.
Oh, we're so fortunate that we have so many spots. One of my favorite beaches just to visit in general is Martinique Beach. I really love Martinique.
Yes, that's my one.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'm so prepared for beach season because, or picnic season I should say, because last summer I was in Prince Edward Island and I stopped by this random yard sale and I bought so much stuff, including the most perfect vintage picnic basket. I'm talking like it is the good quality stuff made with real material, and I cannot wait. Right now I have it on display in one of our guest rooms, but this summer is the summer I'm gonna pack up a bunch of gear and we're gonna use it and go for some family picnics. So I'm glad you two suggested some locations that we can go check out.
Absolutely, this picnic basket is so top tier. I hold it to the highest standard when I'm looking for my own. So there you go.
I think it was like $10.
Amazing. All right, we're gonna ask our viewers now, since it is National Picnic Day, where's your favorite place for a picnic? Text us at 10400. We'll share your answers later in the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your Hollywood, well, entertainment headlines over in Hollywood.
Life's about to get good.
Shania Twain will host next month's 61st Academy of Country Music Awards in Las Vegas. It marks the first time the multi-ACM award winner has ever hosted the event. Cody Johnson, Casey Musgraves, and Lainey Wilson are all scheduled to perform at the show.
Look who's trying to land of the living.
If you missed the boat on Send Help in theaters this year, Hulu is throwing you a lifeline. The Rachel McAdams survival film comes to the streamer on May 7th. Send Help, which also stars Dylan O'Brien, took in almost $75 million at the domestic box office. Hulu is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News. The Met Gala is also back next month. Fashion is art is the dress code for the May 4th event on New York's carpeted museum steps. Beyonce is co-cheering along with Venus Williams, Nicole Kidman, and Vogue's Anna Wintour. And happy birthday to John Cena. The pro wrestler turned movie star turns 49 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
We love him.
Yeah, love him. All right, well, a young Canadian girl has received a royal surprise, a letter of appreciation from the king.
From the king. The 5-year-old's passion for drawing paid off in an unexpected way after sending some of her art to Buckingham Palace. CTV's Karis Mapp has a story.
The happiest day due to an unexpected regal response. Grace Connell, like many 5-year-olds, loves to create art and draws inspiration from the world around her.
I just think of something what I could draw and then I draw it on a paper.
So when the royal family piqued her interest, she began her research.
I was asking Mom how I wanted to know how old they were, and then I knew, but when I went to school the next day, my friend was there, and I drew something with her.
With hopes of the picture making it overseas to King Charles himself.
It was actually a drawing of a king and queen and princess that she sent. I didn't take a picture or anything of it because I honestly didn't think we'd get anything back. So I just addressed it to Buckingham Palace and put 6 stamps on it and sent it with our home address.
Sent at the end of February, Grace would then ask her family to check the mailbox every week to see if she got a reply.
After a few weeks, I'd thought maybe I should, use ChatGPT or something to draw up a letter and mail it to her on behalf.
An idea that turned out to be unnecessary.
She had asked to check the mail one more time, which reminded me I hadn't sent the letter. We went to the mailbox with my nephew, and sure enough, there was a letter addressed from the Queen and King, their correspondence, Buckingham Palace, addressed to Grace.
The Queen and King!
I was blown away. I was like, is this legit? Is this real?
And it was real. A personalized letter from the head of royal correspondence, thanking the young girl on behalf of the royal family. According to Buckingham Palace's website, the king is shown almost all of the letters he receives and takes a keen interest in hearing from the public.
The fact that it noted her splendid drawing and that the king passed on his warmest wishes was unbelievably touching for her and for us.
Meanwhile, Grace says her favorite part has been her family's reaction.
Like being proud of me.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
All right, taking a live look at a cloudy start to the day in Hampton. It's cool as well, 2 degrees with showers and flurries on the way. Stick with us.
It's Thursday, April 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And connection is key. We'll chat with our friend Star Cunningham about the work being done by the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia and why feeling connected is such an important part of mental wellness. That's all coming up this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. We are nearing the end of the work week. Another full week of April. Almost done.
The month?
The month, yeah, almost done.
Really winding down quickly.
Yeah, April 22nd. I always feel like time is really going. Oh my gosh, it's the 23rd. I did just say that moments ago.
This seems to be a week where talk to people from different walks of life, they can't tell what day it is this week. It's funny.
It is true. I was talking to someone, they were thinking like, yeah, well, it's Friday. I'm like, no, it's definitely not Friday.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But yeah, it is hard to believe that we're already like nearing the end of April. Yeah, I find time is going by quick when you start to see, when you buy new packages of milk, new containers of milk, and you're starting to see a date like 2 weeks from now, like the May dates.
Oh, yeah. You could be confused because it is cold. I feel like we started to warm up last week and then we've taken a few steps back.
Oh, yeah. Majority of this week, cold.
Yes.
Even for our daytime highs below seasonal.
You know, you can tell it's cold just by looking outside.
I know. Not happy about it. 2 degrees right now in Halifax. We are going to see temperatures rise, still way below seasonal for our daytime highs, though. We do have a bit of active weather headed our way into the forecast. -7 degrees right now in Sydney, -1 in Charlottetown, 3 degrees in Fredericton, looking at -1 in Cartwright, and -4 in Corner Brook. Here's a look at the wind chill factoring in early this morning for the Maritime region. Newfoundland, Labrador feeling colder as well because of the wind chill. So here's a look at our satellite and radar, seeing rain mixed with snow across parts of Newfoundland as well as across much of Labrador. For the Maritime region, a low chance of flurries early in the morning, transitioning to a low chance of showers into the afternoon. Here's a look at our current wind across all 3 Maritime provinces, remaining light throughout the day today. 15 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in St. John, New Brunswick and Grand Manan, 13 in Halifax. No wind gusts to report. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia say they're organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells. And they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll, and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, you know, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development, but critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. You know, ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session, with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like health care. Price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel jumped by 8.4 cents. The maximum price now $2.18.5. The price of gas did not change in New Brunswick, and pump prices in Nova Scotia and PEI also did not change. Nova Scotia's opposition parties want the province to create a women's health strategy. Cassidy Walker wound up spending $50,000 in Maine for surgery after waiting more than 4 years to see a specialist in Nova Scotia for endometriosis.
Everyone who needs this surgery should be able to get it in Nova Scotia. No one should have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get treatment, and women shouldn't be stuck on a wait list because there aren't enough resources.
Healthcare issues facing women and gender diverse people are just not being addressed. And so the promise to fix healthcare is not, there's not even an attempt to keep that promise when it comes to the most serious conditions facing half of our population.
The Department of Health and Wellness declined an interview with CTV News, but said in a statement a specific healthcare strategy for women isn't necessarily required because their goal is to improve outcomes for all Nova Scotians. Now to a different approach to help nature. In PEI, farmers are pushing back their hay harvest to help a threatened songbird. CTV's Maria Saru has more.
Walking their dogs in the morning is when the Mathesons start to notice the bobolinks are back. The couple farms more than 300 acres, and about 25 of them, including this field, are dedicated to delayed cutting.
This is our normal spring growth right now, but in the summer, the hay is about 2 feet high, and the bobolinks nest right down on the ground.
This is what it'll look like a few months from now. Across the island, nearly 60 landowners are holding off on their first cut of hay to give chicks more time to grow. Bobolinks have been listed as threatened under Canada's Species at Risk Act since 2017. And a federal status report says their numbers fell about 73% from 1970 to 2019, with habitat loss as one of the main reasons.
They love to sit and sing, and they love this tree.
It's not just happening here. Similar efforts to protect bobolinks are underway in other provinces, including Quebec and Ontario. Doing this can affect a farmer's bottom line. The Mathesons sell square bales to horse owners across the province. To help offset losses, PEI's Alice program offers about $25 an acre per year.
By supporting them, we're bringing back that habitat while not taking it out of agricultural production. So it's really a beautiful example of coming together, people and nature.
Canada is home to about a quarter of the global bobolink population during breeding season. So what happens in fields like this matters beyond one farm and even Canada's borders.
They're just fascinating, and they're fun to watch.
The Mathesons will hold off on cutting all this grass until mid-July or whenever the bobolinks leave the field. Maria Strew, CTV News, Albion Cross, Prince Edward Island.
Thank you so much. Hopefully by that time, for June, July, they won't be wearing gloves on BEI because it's been so cold.
I've never heard of a bobolink before.
Never.
I know. I didn't realize all the details.
They're so
very sweet.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay. Well, now we're going to find out more. All right. Guess what? We got a contest to tell you about. If you haven't heard, we're giving away $20,000. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning. We could pay your bills with that massive $20K. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. To enter, head to the contest page at ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code you're about to see in a little moment, along with your info. And the code word today is relax. But actually, don't relax. Just kind of quickly go over to your device, enter your information, put relax in and win. Hopefully win. And we'll have another chance for you to do that. Just that tomorrow with the new code word.
All right, thanks for that update, Crystal. Still ahead, I'll have your national news headlines on this Thursday morning, but before that, it is the full look at the forecast with Latavia. You've been hearing it. It's below seasonal, and it sounds like that trend is going to continue, but probably not going to stop people from venturing along the beach at White Point. Forecast is right after this.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:12 on your Thursday morning. We're taking a live look at Port aux Basques. As of right now, it is -1, seeing lots of sunshine throughout your day as clouds continue to clear out into the afternoon. It is quite cool early this morning across the region, a bit warmer than Wednesday morning, but still going to see below seasonal daytime highs headed our way. As of right now, 3 degrees in Fredericton with 1 degree in Charlottetown and Halifax, -5 over in Sydney, and -3 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline, seeing a low chance of showers and or flurries throughout the day today for all 3 maritime provinces. For Labrador, looking at snow mixed with rain, and then for Newfoundland, also seeing a bit of a wintry mix, but this system is slowly moving out for much of Newfoundland, and then into Labrador. We'll continue to see that mixed precipitation throughout the day today. Into the afternoon, that low chance of flurries becomes a low chance of showers, but that low chance of flurries returns into the overnight hours. So a chance of flurries and or showers, around a 30% chance of it happening, will continue in our forecast for Friday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, seeing around 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 maritime provinces, 2 to 10 across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. For our rainfall outlook, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for Amherst, as well as into parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs warming around 3 to 8 degrees, so still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. A bit warmer for Moncton at 9 degrees. A chance of showers and or flurries will continue into the afternoon. For Prince Edward Island, 4 degrees to 7 degrees as your daytime highs today. A mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers expected into the afternoon. Same thing for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia. Daytime highs between 4 to 8. Looking at some isolated showers and or flurries into the afternoon. For the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 4 to 7. Showers and or flurries expected to around a 30% chance of it happening. -2 degrees for Labrador City. Looking at some light snowfall, transitioning over to freezing drizzle into the evening hours. And flurries also expected for St. John's, Newfoundland with a high of 3, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. So into Friday's forecast, still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. A low chance of showers and or flurries continues, but first starts off a bit steady, and then that system starts to break down for the Maritime region. Newfoundland and Labrador still going to see either snow and or showers. And then into our forecast for Saturday, temperatures do warm up, double digits for most. It will become seasonal for our daytime highs. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. As tension escalates in the Strait of Hormuz, a new report claims it could take months to reopen the waterway, even if there's a deal with Iran. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Pakistan, where peace talks between the U.S. and Iran were supposed to take place this week.
This morning, dramatic video aired by state TV shows Iranian forces seizing 2 cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Masked soldiers climbing the deck, searching this ship, long guns at the ready. These scenes playing out one day after President Trump extended his ceasefire with Iran indefinitely.
Feels emboldened by this indefinite extension. It feels it can just wait out President Trump while the damage ramps up to the world economy.
The White House downplaying Iran's actions, saying the seizure of those ships does not violate the ceasefire. Cargo ships and oil tankers are now waiting just outside the Strait of Hormuz, unable to pass in the face of Iran's threats. An officer on one tanker tells us they won't move without safety guarantees.
I honestly cannot say what is worse. If it's the standing by here, waiting and hoping not to get hit, or the uncertainty of not knowing if the strait is open or closed.
Analysts already calling this the biggest energy crisis in history. And now, in the midst of this naval conflict, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has fired the Secretary of the Navy without explanation. There had reportedly been tension with Hegseth in recent months. Meanwhile, despite repeated assurances from President Trump that Iran's military force has been depleted, the head of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency says Iran retains thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones that can threaten U.S. and partner forces throughout the region. Another sign of uncertainty with peace talks stalled and the world watching.
Iran has suggested that it will not return to the negotiating table until the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports is lifted. President Trump says the U.S. blockade scares Iran more than the bombing. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Islamabad, Pakistan.
Thank you, Marcus. A quick break here on your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal will have a conversation with the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 7:20. Now, mental health is incredibly important, and improving it requires the right support systems. The Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia helps provide access and bridge the gaps in care through support from community grants. Here to tell us more and why connection is key is the president and CEO of the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia and our friend, Star Cunningham. Hello, Star.
Hello, Crystal. Thank you for having me back.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure to have you in. All right, let's talk about why connection is so important.
Connection is so important because we all need it, because it keeps us tethered to community.
Yes.
And community is vitally important. People think that we're really well connected now because we all have cell phones and, you know, we're staying connected through social media. But that's not the type of connection we're talking about. We're talking about getting people out into their communities, interacting with other people, knowing that they're not alone.
Well, loneliness is one of the greatest problems of our time, despite the fact that we're more connected than ever, as you mentioned. Let's talk about what you're hearing from communities about what they're needing most, because I know we're going to talk about some grants in a moment, but what are you hearing from people to show you that connection is so key?
Well, we do grants twice a year where we open up for applications to come in from all across the province. And every 6 months, we get to see the trends and what communities are talking about. And what is just jumping off the page for us this time time around is connection.
Okay.
People want projects happening in their communities where they can get out and spend time with other people doing simple things. You're seeing some photos here like having a meal together. You know, singing together, music therapy. This is a beautiful photograph from Camp Believe, which is in partnership with Brigadoon Village. And we fund children to go there, children who have a parent who lives with mental illness, to give them a chance to connect with other young people who know what that's like.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's talk a little bit about the granting and who was chosen this year and why.
67 grants totaling.
Whoa, so we're not going to get to everybody.
No, we're not going to get to everybody. This is our grants committee that we just saw there. So 67 grants totaling $1.25 million. And they are in every corner of the province. They focus on connection, community building, education. So you saw a photograph earlier of a group of people in a classroom. That was for mental health first aid training. So making sure that people have an understanding of how to respond if they should come across someone who's in a crisis. We fund organizations that support African and Indigenous Nova Scotians, 2S LGBTQIA+, youth, men, you name it, and we're funding projects to really create a sense of belonging.
Wow, that's incredible. 67 different grants. You and your team must be working very hard. It must be overwhelming sometimes with the need out there.
It is. That's the toughest part of the job.
Yeah.
So the toughest part is saying no to grants that are worthy. So we do our best to make sure that we're, you know, spreading the funding all across the province and hitting as many organizations as possible.
We still have 2 minutes, which is great. That's a long time in TV time, as you know, Star. What can people do out there to help you be able to help as many people as possible?
I think the big thing is to talk. You know, there's a reason Bell Let's Talk is called that.
Yeah.
There's a reason we have an event called Keep Talking. You know, it's just raising awareness. We want people to raise awareness of the fact that it's okay not to be okay, that there are places you can go within your community to feel connected. We want people to donate to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia so that we don't have to say no to those worthy grants that I mentioned. We also want people to really not be scared to ask for help. That's a big part of it. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention volunteering. So National Volunteer Week, of course, and we could not do the work that we do at the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia without the help of volunteers.
So when I first left university back in the early 90s, my very first job was working with the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Oh, wow.
And my job was to try to eliminate the stigma. And I know that the stigma was a big barrier for people seeking help. And I know things have improved because we're talking more now, but I think that barrier does still exist.
Absolutely, it exists. Yeah, we see it every day. We see it even among healthcare professionals and in hospital settings. The stigma is real, but we need to break free from that. And the way we can do that is by talking. I live with mental illness. I didn't say that when I worked at CTV.
Of course.
You know, I spent 23 years here in this newsroom trying to hide the fact that I was struggling many days. And being with the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia now, I can talk openly about that and I can share my experience. And by doing that, hopefully allow someone else to know, oh, Star can talk about it and, you know, be okay, you know, be able to continue with our life and, you know, be a wife and a mother and an employee of the Mental Health Foundation. Maybe I can too.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned connection. I know in my own life I've felt many times very lonely in a crowded room. And I think a lot of people feel that way sometimes. So talking about it is so important. Thank you so much for coming in today, Star. And thanks and congratulations on all the work that you're doing to help these 67 organizations that receive grants.
Right on. Thanks very much, Crystal.
All right. We put more information about Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia on our website. Right now, we'll turn our attention to Latavia.
Thanks, Crystal. Starting off in New Brunswick for our 3-day forecast. 7 degrees today. We do have a low chance of showers and or flurries into the afternoon. On Friday, 6 degrees is your daytime high. A mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers return into the afternoon, though. 10 degrees on Saturday. Lots of sunshine and then increasing cloudiness. For Nova Scotia, 5 degrees, sunny skies, but we do have a low chance of showers and or flurries tracking across the province. 6 degrees on Friday, starting off with sunshine, seeing showers and or flurries return. And then on Saturday, 7 degrees, yet again a bit of sunshine, but also mixed precipitation. Prince Edward Island, 6 degrees today, a mix of sun and cloud with isolated showers into the afternoon. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 4, evening flurries and or showers on Saturday with a high of 5.
Just ahead, spring cleaning, your finances. It's the perfect time to get your money situation in order. We will speak with our partners at Allen Marshall & Associates about that in 15 minutes here on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hello. Come join us halfway through the show on this Thursday, April 23rd. So glad you can join us. So much going on today on the show. We're going to be eating some Venezuelan food.
Yummy.
Oh, yay.
Delicious.
Spice cooking is here.
Yes.
Can't wait to try it.
And we're going to be heading off to Fromville later in the show.
Yeah, part 2. We head back to Beaver Bank.
Ooh. Who are we going to be talking to today? What's a little sneak peek?
Actors Ricky He and Liz Saunders, who plays Kenny and Donna in the show. Pretty big characters as well.
I'm going to ask you now because I don't think you covered in the piece. Did you get to use craft services when you were on site?
I did.
Oh. Okay, what was the best stuff?
I got to eat in what they call the bar, which is really cool. And yeah, we had lunch there. It was pretty top tier. Nova Scotia, I do it amazing here in the Maritimes.
I walked by a movie set one time and they were setting up like a snack area for craft service, and they had like licorice in a jar and like all treats you can imagine. I was like, oh, I could go for a Twizzler right now.
Right?
Oh my, anything you want.
Exactly, exactly. So
big production. The works over there.
Well, our trips to Fromville have been a joy. I can't wait for that later. It helps me take my mind off the weather outside.
Yeah, definitely. It's been cooler across the region. As you can see from our live eye, we did have a few showers early in the morning. We are expecting a low chance of showers and flurries to track across the Maritime region throughout the day today, so that's something to keep in mind when you are heading out. As of right now, it is 1 degree over in Peggy's Cove, and then you factor in that wind chill, feeling even colder. 1 degree as well in Halifax and Charlottetown, 3 degrees in Fredericton, 0 in Cartwright and St. Anthony. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in early this morning for the Maritime region, and Newfoundland and Labrador feeling cooler as well. And over to our satellite and radar. Snow mixed with rain for much of Labrador, parts of Newfoundland, and into the Maritime region. We will be seeing a bit of sunshine, but also a low chance of some shower activity and or flurries. In terms of the wind for the Maritime region, quite light in its activity today. 15 kilometers per hour in St. John, New Brunswick, Grand Manan, 13 in North Cape. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells. And they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll, and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development, but critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. Ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session, with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like healthcare. The price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel jumped by 8.4 cents a litre. The maximum price now $2.18.50. Price of gas did not change in New Brunswick, and pump prices also did not change in Nova Scotia or PEI. We'll have the latest prices on all 3 Maritime provinces tomorrow. A man has been charged with aggravated assault after a youth was badly injured in Wagmat. Police were called to a school on Shore Road around 4 a.m. Sunday. The victim had life-threatening injuries after some kind of altercation. 19-year-old Landon Francis later turned himself in to police in Bedc. He's been released pending future court appearances. There's no word this morning on the extent of damage to an apartment building following a fire in downtown Halifax yesterday. Clouds of thick black smoke poured from a fire at a construction site on Cogswell Street Wednesday afternoon. Some building materials sitting between the new high-rise and a house went up in flames just after the noon hour. It sparked evacuations and a major response from Halifax Fire. In fact, about 10 fire trucks and supporting units responded and helped about a dozen people get out of the vicinity.
The thing with the smoke, it was the type of material. So when you get a lot of construction debris, a lot of it's petroleum based, which gives off that heavy black smoke. So that's what we encountered when we arrived.
No one was hurt. Cogswell Street was closed while crews investigated, but by late afternoon, workers were back inside. Nurses will soon be working in every one of New Brunswick's special care homes, with the hope the move will ease pressure on the healthcare system.
This means that people are going to be able to get more timely access to care, and they're going to get care close to home, or at home in these cases.
People can have very complex care needs, either in their own home or in our special care homes. And prior to this, we were doing great, we were strong, but now we have this secret sauce available in our homes that we didn't have before.
The extramural program provides access to nursing and clinical support for seniors and people with disabilities and is now available to all 424 special care homes in the province. Now, more than 7,000 New Brunswickers are getting nursing care where they live and not in a hospital bed. PEI has sold its cache of American liquor and local charities are reaping the benefits. The province is donating $600,000 to organizations like the Salvation Army in Charlottetown and Summerside and the Montague Food Bank. You'll remember the American alcohol was pulled off liquor store shelves to protest U.S. tariffs. Several other provinces have been doing the same thing. Finally, you know we love baby animals on this show. The Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington, D.C. marked Earth Day by unveiling a new and quite adorable addition. It doesn't matter if it's humans or elephants. Kids love a good bath time in bubbles, right? So this baby elephant was born on February 2nd, and now she's soaking up all the attention on her public debut. She stayed behind the scenes for the first several weeks of her life to bond with her herd mates, but now we get to see her.
So adorable.
Oh, what a little sweetheart.
She's adorable. Baby elephants are really cute.
They're so cute.
And just like clumsy, they're little trunks. My goodness.
No, it's like her little eyes. It's like she's got like a little eye makeup on or something. It's most pleasing.
It's most pleasing.
Wow.
This pleases me.
Oh my gosh. Well, we want to remind you what our Move Morning Chat question is. It's about picnicking. You know, we want you to share with us your favorite picnic spots because it's National Picnic Day. Text us at 10400. I don't have a specific favorite spot. I do like a carnic, which is when we have a picnic in the car.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
It's like when you're traveling. We put the. I remember one particular time we had a like carnic, a very special carnic, and we were on a trip. And we were really hungry, and they had like rotisserie chicken 50% off. So we rolled it out of the store, and the cart was there. And you know what we did? We just took the lid off, and like all 5 of us just went in there and started eating the rotisserie chicken.
Awesome.
I love
it. It was a good memory.
That's honestly, you were like, I am ripping hungry.
Exactly. Yeah, that wasn't very romantic, but it was a memory, that's for sure.
Listen, just means that you trust each other.
Exactly. Exactly. Like King Arthur in the courts back in the day. Oh my goodness.
The dog's barking at your feet.
We're giving away stuff left and right.
Oh yeah.
Right
yes,
now
we are.
We're going to give you a chance to win a ride on lawnmower. That sounds fantastic to me. That's the prize for this month's Kent Big Bucket giveaway. It's a made-for 38-inch lawn tractor worth $2,500. It's powerful, it's built to last, and it's offering fantastic performance at, I think, an affordable price. Enter to win. Head to ctvatlantic.ca. The winner will be announced Friday, May 1st. I've been pricing ride on lawnmowers because my husband really wants one. I don't think it's going to be this year, honey. But I have been pricing them. That looks like a good one.
Very exciting for someone to win.
Yeah,
next week. Wow.
I know, for sure. Yeah, that's right, May 1st next week. Oh, okay, that's all we have time for.
That is, and we are halfway through the show. Coming up next, Latavia is going to have the latest look at the cold Thursday forecast. And then we're going to be talking about spring cleaning, but maybe not the type of cleaning you're thinking about, your finances, having that moment to sit down, really look at it, clean things up. We'll chat with our partners at Allen Marshall and Associates about getting your money situation in better shape this season. That's coming up after the break. Please stay with us.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:43. We're taking a live look at St. John's, Newfoundland. Cloudy early this morning. We do have a low chance of flurries expected to clear out, but it is colder this morning as well, -3 degrees starting off your day. It's feeling quite cold right across the region early this morning. Temperatures will rise, still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. As of right now, it is -5 degrees in Sydney, 1 in Halifax and Charlottetown, 3 degrees in Fredericton, -4 over in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Taking a look at our forecast timeline, a bit of sunshine for parts of the Maritime region early this morning, but we do have some active weather tracking across the region. Snow mixed with rain for much of Labrador, parts of Newfoundland, then into the Maritime region, a low chance of isolated showers and or flurries. That will stick around into the afternoon, transitioning over to a low chance of showers. But into the evening hours, a low chance of showers and or flurries will return, taking us into Friday's forecast. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, only seeing around 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 Maritime provinces, 2 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for both Newfoundland and Labrador. For our rainfall outlook, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for Amherst and looking at 2 to 5 millimeters as well for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. For forecast today for New Brunswick, a bit of sunshine for parts of the province early on. We do have a low chance of showers and or flurries. Daytime highs tracking between 3 to 9 degrees today. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 4 to 7. We have a mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers expected into the afternoon. Same thing for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia. Looking at some chance of some isolated showers and or flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 4 to 8. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at showers and or flurries. Daytime highs between 4 to 7. For Labrador City today, light snowfall transitioning over to freezing drizzle into the evening, a high of -2, 3 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a chance of flurries and then clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. Friday's forecast remains below seasonal yet again for our daytime highs. A low chance of showers and or flurries will return across parts of Atlantic Canada. We are going to see that taper off into the evening for the Maritime region, but Newfoundland, Labrador looking at some snow and or showers. And then into Saturday's forecast, seasonal daytime highs, so starting to see some double digits return. We do have some isolated showers tracking across parts of the Maritime region, and a bit of a wintry mix still remains for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Allen Marshall and Associates. This morning, we're going to be talking about spring cleaning your finances. And to help with this, we bring back our partners, Allen Marshall and Associates. Joining us this morning to share a few hacks and tips is a licensed insolvency trustee, Amanda Sherwood. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
So spring is when many of us start to declutter our homes, but it's also a great time to clean up our finances. So from your perspective, why is it always a good time to kind of get a financial reset?
I really like this time of year. The spring, it reignites things. We're coming out of our winter hibernation, and it's a tax time too. So at this time of year, those that are fortunate enough that have planned ahead sometimes get a little bit of a tax refund. And so it's nice to have a little bit of a buffer so that we can, at this point, look at last year so we can figure out what we need to adjust so that we can plan ahead for this year. So as we're spring cleaning our houses, we can also sit down and get started on that budget so that we know what the future holds for this year that we need to account to correct for last year, and what we need to plan for ahead so that money stays in our pockets and we're not relying on credit use.
I absolutely agree with you there, and I love this idea. And for some people, they can feel a bit disorganized with money, multiple bills, balances, and due dates. So when does that clutter become overwhelming and more serious?
If you're not setting aside time to sit down and there's a lot that you need to manage, it can get overwhelming pretty quickly. I am one that relies on a notebook. I like to write everything down, to jot things down that pop up that I wasn't expecting. And I also am a big fan of spreadsheets and online forms. So at our office, we've created a lot of user-friendly forms. You can visit wecanhelp.ca. They're forms that are our clients need to use for our services, but it's also something that anyone can access if they wish. And we've created a lot of good user-friendly forms to allow you to do a couple of things. You can either use a daily tracker, there's a weekly tracker, a monthly budget, and a net worth form. So you can plug your numbers in and it does a lot of the calculations for you. My favorite one is our weekly budget planner that allows you to stick your monthly budget in there. And it also allows you to break down per week what you need to pay and put in your pay frequency. So you can break it down to see where you should break up your pays to cover your fixed expenses and what's left over so that we can see what's going on, what you have to work with to pay down that debt and get some savings accumulated.
Absolutely. So what are some of the biggest changes people did notice after seeking professional advice?
The relief. And knowing that there's other options. A lot of people get stuck in their ways and they think that there's only one way that they can do things because that's what they know. So by seeking professional advice, we can really enlighten them to see that there's different scenarios. And seeking help early can give more scenarios that they can try first before sometimes if they seek advice a little bit later, the options tend to be a little bit more fixed. So seeking advice early when there's still room to make adjustments can allow them to try different avenues to see if Plan A works or Plan B works before we look into other more formal options.
Absolutely. And if someone does want to reach out, how can they reach out to you?
You can reach out by calling Alan Marshall and Associates. So we do free consultations over the phone, or you can come and have a sit down at the office. And you can also request consultations through our website. We have an online form that you can submit brief details to give us a background of what you're dealing with, and we can connect through email and then set up a phone call. Or we also have a chat service. So if there's lingering questions that you want to get quick answers, you can use the chat feature, and then we can let you know if a consultation is suitable and if it's a good idea for you to have a sit down with one of us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Amanda.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. And that was Amanda Sherwood with our partners at Alan Marshall and Associates. Now we're going to throw things over to our Amanda for health and medical news.
There's a lot of Amandas on the show this morning. It's good. Health and medical news now. Lawmakers in the United Kingdom have passed a new law that will ban children aged 17 and under from buying cigarettes for their entire life. It's one of the topics in your health.
It is a landmark bill, my lords. It will create a smoke-free generation. It is, in fact, the biggest public health intervention in a generation, and I can assure all noble lords it will save lives.
The tobacco and vaping bill will stop anyone born after January 1st, 2009 from taking up smoking legally. Once it receives royal assent, it will also give the government powers to ban smoking in outdoor spaces like playgrounds and outside schools and hospitals. The new law is part of a series of measures aimed at combating the health effects from smoking, one of the leading causes of preventable death in the UK. Excessive naps could be a warning sign of underlying health conditions for older adults. That's according to new research published in JAMA Network Open. The study found that longer and more frequent naps in adults 56 and older were connected to higher all-cause mortality. Researchers said that morning naps in particular are a marker of increased mortality risk late in life. While naps can help you recharge, researchers warn that excessive daytime napping in old age is linked to a wide range of health issues.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, you can visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance.
All right, today we're talking about picnicking.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk a really quick, fun story. This is not a place in Cape Breton. We went on a hike one time. It's the most magical hike. My whole family remembers it. It was just a perfect time where all of the raspberries were so as we walked to the picnic site, which was at kind of a cliff near Mabu, Cape Breton, it was just, you could pull the raspberries off, their perfect ripeness, pull them off like the Garden of Eden, just eating.
That sounds divine.
It was the best day ever.
Oh,
and then
my
by the time we
goodness.
got to the picnic site, which was gorgeous, we weren't even hungry for a picnic
You were
lunch.
full. I love it.
So that's our Mid Morning Chat today. Text us 10400, your favorite picnic spot.
Yes. All right, well, anyone who's been to the beach or to the lake knows just how essential the classic Adirondack chair,
Some people say Adirondack chair, Muskoka chair.
Yeah,
you know, those beach chairs, they're wooden, kind of laid back a bit.
Muskoka chairs, that's what we call them.
Exactly. But one man thought, why should humans be the only ones enjoying these chairs? ABC's Danny New explains.
For this National Volunteer Week, we are meeting a retiree who uses his wood shop to give shelter kitties a good sun spot.
I would say I'm a novice. I just enjoy it.
For almost a decade now, Curtis McKiff here has been constructing these, get ready for this, Catarand chairs, which he then donates to Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab, Utah.
I'd made the Adirondack chairs, and the scrap pieces were about half-sized.
The idea came about in 2017 when Curtis made a couple for his cats at home with leftover lumber. His wife then suggested he make some for Best Friends, where they both volunteered.
She had a favorite cat in each room that she would like to see be able to lounge in the sun without doing it on the cold concrete. And I said, all right, I'll try.
9 years later, Curtis estimates he has made 80 Catarand chairs for the sanctuary, which usually has between 300 and 400 cats. In fact, Curtis has even expanded in the past few years to also making these cat day beds, which some cats feel should be a two-kitty piece of furniture.
Even these that I've refurbished, you know, it does my heart good to see the scratch marks.
And when Curtis visits the sanctuary and sees how popular his chairs are,
makes me feel good. Makes it feel like it's worthwhile.
Danny New, ABC News, New York.
I think a lot of people are bringing their Adirondack chairs back out. All right. Today, we're looking at a high of 7 degrees in New Brunswick. A bit of sunshine for parts of the province, but we do have a low chance of showers and/or flurries throughout the day. On Friday, 6 degrees is your daytime high, so still remaining below seasonal. A mix of sun and cloud, isolated showers expected into the afternoon. Saturday, sunshine returns. We will be seeing increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, warming up seasonal to 10 degrees. For Nova Scotia, 5 degrees today, a bit of sunshine in before a low chance of showers and/or flurries moves in. 6 degrees on Friday. We are going to see some sunshine, but still holding on to a bit of a wintry mix. 7 degrees on Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. Yet again, a low chance of showers and/or flurries will return. For Prince Edward Island, 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. We do have a low chance of showers moving in into the afternoon. On Friday, sunshine returns, but evening flurries return as well. On Saturday, 5 degrees is your daytime high. Flurries and/or showers return across the island.
It's Thursday, April 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are gathering together. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And another visit from the Spice program. Today we'll introduce you to an entrepreneur who's here to tempt our taste buds with Venezuelan empanadas. That's coming up a little later this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Empanadas on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Natalie Frederick-Wilson joining us from the Spice program to introduce us to another young entrepreneur. Looking forward to that segment. They always have wonderful people.
Definitely the Spice program has expanded our taste buds.
Absolutely.
Yes. I've never tried Venezuelan food. I'm excited to
No, me either,
have my
but yeah.
first taste.
I'm sure it's going to be real
I'm
good.
sure it smells good. They've been working hard in there for quite some time. Yeah, I'd love something warm and toasty on this chilly morning.
Absolutely. We are going to see temperatures rise, still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. Unfortunately, it's going to be a cooler day ahead yet again. As of right now, 1 degree in Halifax, and then factor in that wind chill, feeling a lot colder for many areas. Just keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. Temperatures are slowly rising as of right now, but very slowly. And into our current temperatures, it's colder over in Cape Breton Island, -5 degrees in Sydney, 1 degree in Charlottetown, 3 degrees currently in Fredericton, 0 in Cartwright and St. Anthony. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in for the Maritime region. Newfoundland, Labrador also feeling colder early this morning. We do have some snow mixed with rain for parts of Newfoundland, across much of Labrador, and then into the Maritime region, a low chance of some isolated showers and or flurries will track throughout the day. And then in terms of the wind for the Maritime region, quite light today. Nothing above 15 kilometers per hour right now in St. John and Grand Manan, 13 in North Cape, 11 in Halifax and Moncton. No wind gusts to report. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells. And they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development, but critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. Ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session, with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like health care. The price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel jumped by 8.4 cents. The maximum price now $2.18.5. Price of gas did not change in New Brunswick, and pump prices in Nova Scotia and PEI also did not change. We'll have the latest numbers for you tomorrow, when prices are expected to change overnight. With local elections looming in New Brunswick, some former mayors are opening up about personal attacks and harassment they faced on the job. In a candid discussion on a podcast, some former city leaders admitted they sometimes faced real threats and danger.
My son was physically assaulted twice. I got lots of death threats, lots of anonymous accounts, followed down alleys.
There was a man in jail, I don't know if he still is, for threatening my life. I got 2,500 life-threatening emails in a 24-hour period once.
The Union of Municipalities of New Brunswick has been calling for a stronger framework at the local level to deal with harassment in local politics. Nova Scotia's opposition parties want the province to create a women's health strategy. Cassidy Walker wound up spending $50,000 in Maine for surgery after waiting more than 4 years to see a specialist in Nova Scotia for endometriosis.
Everyone who needs this surgery should be able to get it in Nova Scotia. No one should have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get treatment, and women shouldn't be stuck on a wait list because there aren't enough resources.
Healthcare issues facing women and gender diverse people are just not being addressed. And so the promise to fix healthcare is not, there's not even an attempt to keep that promise when it comes to the most serious conditions facing half of our population.
The Department of Health and Wellness declined an interview with CTV News, but said in a statement a specific healthcare strategy for women isn't necessarily required because their goal is to improve outcomes for all Nova Scotians. New Brunswick is extending the tourism season at one of the province's most popular spots. Parley Beach near Shediac will have its season pushed back to mid-October. It's part of the province's plan to increase tourism revenues by keeping some places open longer. Officials have earmarked about $100,000 to make it happen. The Village Historique at Catarand is another site that will see more days. Meantime, the news isn't so good for another tourist site along the Bay of Fundy. The board of directors of Cape and Rage Interpretive Center Announcing yesterday the site will not reopen. The board is blaming the lack of a formal operating contract from the New Brunswick government, as well as funding cuts. The attraction near Alma has been popular for its ziplining and cliff rappelling, welcoming thousands of visitors every summer. Finally, a new study from Cambridge University says junk food may be a problem for these monkeys, causing upset stomachs, but researchers say they may have found a unique solution. So they believe the monkeys are self-medicating, eating soil as a kind of antacid to soothe their aching tummies after overindulging in sweet and salty snacks from tourists. Scientists say eating dirt may help the animals digest high-calorie foods and is a form of adaptive behavior.
For the Tums when you need them.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like nature's Tums. Also must provide a thick, shiny coat.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some beautifully coated monkeys.
Oh my, can you imagine that?
Chunky monkeys dealing with heartburn.
Yeah.
I know, because the tourists are just giving them food too strong.
Yeah.
Don't be eating it.
Creatures.
Don't feed them. Because now they're eating dirt to soothe their tummies.
Poor things.
This is why you watch a morning show for these kinds of
Well, it's true.
stories.
I've never seen that kind of monkey before. The monkeys
The
in
macaque.
Gibraltar.
Yeah, the macaque monkeys.
Macaque monkeys. Macaque, that's what they say. All right, we got a fantastic new contest to tell you about right now. If you haven't heard, you can wake up and win with Your Morning Atlantic. We can pay your bills with a massive $20,000. I'd like to imagine what I could do with 20 grand.
20K giveaway.
Because we work here. You could win this. You can tune in every day for a new code word to enter. Head to the contest page on ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code you see right there. Enter the code word RELAX along with a little information. You'll be entered to win. Tune in tomorrow. New code word, new chance to win. Woohoo!
All right, still ahead, we'll have your latest international news headlines, but it is the look at the Thursday forecast with Latavia. Buckle up for a few more cold spring days before it really warms up. Good morning to our viewers near Baccarel Point. We have the forecast right after this.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:11. We're taking a live look at a cloudy start to the day over in Antigonish. 2 degrees early this morning. We do have a low chance of some isolated showers expected into the afternoon. It is cool right across the region yet again today, going to stay cooler for our daytime highs. As of right now, -1 degree in Sydney, 1 in Halifax, 2 degrees in Charlottetown with 3 into Fredericton, -8 in Labrador City, and -3 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland. So already seeing temperatures rise. Over to our forecast timeline, we do have a bit of snow still remaining for parts of Newfoundland. Snow mixed with rain for parts of Labrador. Other than that, into the Maritime region, a bit of sunshine for parts of all 3 Maritime provinces, and also a low chance of isolated showers and or flurries. Into the afternoon, we see that flurry activity transition over to a low chance of showers, but that flurry activity will continue into the evening hours, so a low chance of showers and or flurries in the forecast for Friday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 Maritime provinces, 2 to 10 centimeters for both Newfoundland and Labrador. For our rainfall outlook, seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters in Amherst, as well as into parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from 3 to 8 degrees. We do have showers and or flurries tracking across parts of the province. Into Prince Edward Island, starting off the day with some sunshine, then increasing cloudiness, a low chance of showers expected into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 4 to 7. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, sunshine for you as well. Also seeing a low chance of showers and or flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 8. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers and or flurries expected as well into the afternoon, around a 30% chance of it happening. Daytime highs between 4 to 7. For Labrador City, looking at a high of -3, we do have periods of light snowfall clearing out, then seeing freezing drizzle into the evening. And for St. John's, Newfoundland, 3 degrees, light flurry activity clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. So another cooler day is ahead for Friday. We do have a chance of flurries and or showers for parts of the Maritime region, also into parts of Labrador. Newfoundland seeing a bit of shower activity. And then into Friday night, we see another system make its way over to Newfoundland, looking at snow and or showers. And then for our forecast on Saturday, temperatures warming up. starting to be seasonal for our daytime highs, but a cloudier day ahead, a chance of showers returns for parts of the Maritime region and for Newfoundland and Labrador, mixed precipitation. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 8:14. Happening now, at least 17 people have been hurt in a head-on train crash in Denmark. This happened just north of Copenhagen. Officials say 5 people were critically injured. Everyone was able to get off the trains. Both trains are significantly damaged, yet both remain upright on the tracks. Investigators are now looking into how it happened. The U.S. is now not setting a timeline to end its war with Iran.
This is a battle between the pragmatists and the hardliners in Iran right now, and the president wants a unified response. And so as we await that response, there's a ceasefire with the military and kinetic strikes.
U.S. President Donald Trump extended a ceasefire with Iran this week. So far, he has not put a new expiration date on this extension. Fox News host Martha McCallum says President Trump told her in a phone call that there is no time pressure to end the ceasefire. The Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed. Iranian state media has aired video appearing to show yesterday's seizure of a cargo ship on the strait. Tehran says it is not possible to reopen the strait, accusing the U.S. and Israel of breaching the ceasefire. Iran also calls the U.S. blockade an obstacle in talks. Soaring jet fuel prices are pushing the cost of a plane ticket even higher, and it's still unclear if the federal government's move to suspend the fuel excise tax will help.
We have obviously let the airlines know that we'll be watching to make sure that those savings get passed on.
Speaking on CTV's Power Play with Vashi Kabelos, Transport Minister Stephen McKinnon wouldn't say directly if the federal government secured any reassurances from airlines that cost relief would be passed on to consumers. He says the government is closely following whether Canadian Airlines will pass along savings, but he couldn't guarantee they would. Airlines have been adjusting their flight schedules because of high jet fuel costs. Just yesterday, Air Transat announced it will reduce its capacity by 6% from May to October. Some Canadian airlines have also added fuel surcharges to their bookings. Trade talks are heating up between Canada and the U.S. The Americans have cited certain trade irritants need to be addressed before CUSMA negotiations can begin. But the Prime Minister responded by saying, "We have some on our side as well." CTV's Mike Locatour has the latest.
They just treat us unfairly at every margin they possibly can.
The U.S. Commerce Secretary describing the trading relationship with Canada to fellow American lawmakers. And Howard Lutnick once again brought up a key gripe.
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf. It is insulting.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada has to make concessions to get back to the negotiating table.
It's not a case of the United States dictates the terms. We have the negotiation. We can come to a mutually successful outcome. It will take some time.
A prudent strategy, according to this trade lawyer.
I think where Canada is drawing a line right now is this idea that we're going to give away the house before we even sit down to negotiate. And that puts negotiators in a very difficult situation.
The U.S. has already outlined other irritants, including limited American access to the Canadian dairy market and the Online Streaming Act, which brings American platforms under Canadian broadcast rules.
We've made some counter proposals, which they're aware, and the time will come to really roll up our sleeves.
At the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said the bigger issue is that the two countries have opposing philosophies on trade.
They're doubling down on globalization when we're trying to correct for the problems of globalization. So those are two models that don't fit together very well.
Canada's approach could become more clear tomorrow at the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs. That's when we'll hear from Canada's ambassador to the U.S. for the first time.
CTV's Mike Locatour reporting in Ottawa, and that meeting of the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs will take place today in Ottawa. Another break here on your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we're heading to the kitchen to check in with Spice Cooking. We'll have the delicious details right after this.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
It is time once again to welcome back the SPICE program from the Center for Women in Business. This morning we are joined by Natalie Frederick-Wilson from the Center and Sandra Garcia, the owner and founder of Nagua Raw Venezuelan Food. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. I can't wait to talk about your food, Sandra. It smells so good. So you are originally from Venezuela?
Yes, I am.
When did you decide to start opening Nagua Raw Venezuelan Foods?
Actually, at the moment when we decided to open the business was because everybody was talking negative things about Venezuela, and I wanted to show the people positive things about our country, and the best way is the food.
For sure. All right, you have brought in a wonderful display of foods, and including this tasting plate with a little bit of everything. Ooh, it's nice and warm. Thank you. Well, let's start with this fun item here. This fun. What is this?
This is an arepa.
Okay.
Filled with black beans and cheese.
Okay. Arepa.
Arepa, yes.
Arepa. Okay, and you have different kinds on the table here. What's for example?
Okay, we have there the reina pepiada. It's made with shredded chicken, creamy avocado, onions, and cilantro.
Yep.
And the other one is shredded beef and cheese.
Yep.
We have also shredded chicken with cheese. And just beef or just chicken.
Wonderful stuff. Okay, great. Okay, and then of course this is a traditional empanada.
Yes.
But yours are different because yours are made with corn flour?
Yes, we do.
Tell us about that.
So in Venezuela, all the empanadas that we eat are with corn flour made, and we fill it with different flavors. Yep. In Halifax, we offer just beef, chicken, plantain and cheese, and black beans and cheese. But we can fill it with anything.
Perfect. Two more things to talk about. Right in front of Natalie, we have this wonderful bread stuffed with, looks like delicious ham and olives.
Yes. This also Venezuelan bakery. We have a lot European influence in our country. That's why we prepare the bread that we eat there. We usually eat every time. We have the cheese one. Bacon and cheese, and the Christmas bread that is ham, raisin, and olives.
I've had it before. It's delicious. Not yours. I can't wait to try yours.
Yeah.
And then finally, this wonderful little snacking item. What's this?
The tequeños.
Yep.
It's a piece of cheese that we roll and then we fry. It's not gluten free.
Yep.
But we usually eat with garlic sauce.
And it's a special kind of cheese. I'll show our audience. I'm not going to just get into this just yet because I won't be able to talk. See, what kind of cheese is in there?
A cow cheese.
A cow cheese?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, Natalie, you must be very proud of your latest.
Absolutely.
Okay,
very proud of the work that she's accomplished. She's only been doing this for less than a year.
Really?
But through the SPICE program, she's really growing her business and really introducing the flavors of Venezuela to her community very, very well.
This a cow cheese is so fun. It's kind of like halloumi.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are like the best mozzarella fingers. I know it's not mozzarella, but I've ever had. Okay. Before we get into, I know you have a big announcement, Natalie.
Yes.
How has the SPICE program helped you with your business, Sandra?
A lot. I was very confused and I didn't understand how the market goes, how Canada works. And I understand the most important thing for me was to make a business plan.
Yeah.
I didn't have idea that it's important because I never run a business and also know food.
Well, this is the thing. You might have the most delicious food in the world, but if you don't have all those systems in place, you're not going to be able to scale up and make money.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, now, Natalie, big
announcement.
News. Yes.
The big announcement is that the Center for Women in Business now has a brand new business advisor in the Cape Breton region for women entrepreneurs who want to start, grow, scale their businesses. Her name is Ashley McDonald, and she will be hosting regular hours at the Cape Breton Innovation Center in Sydney on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Cape Breton women can find her there. They can also look her up on our website.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's great news. Super excited for Cape Breton. Okay, I'm going to try the empanada. This is delicious, Sandra. Thank you so much. Quickly, where can we find your food?
Yeah, this is the brewery market.
A brewery market and online.
Sunday.
Okay, here we go. We're trying this one. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Latavia, you have got to try this.
I'll be right in there, Crystal. Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, 7 degrees for New Brunswick today. A low chance of showers and or flurries on Friday. 6 degrees is your daytime high. Looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Isolated showers return into the afternoon. On Saturday, starting off with sunshine, increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, a high of 10. For Nova Scotia, 5 degrees, a bit of a sunny start to the day, but we do have a low chance of showers and or flurries. Much of the same on Friday, 6 degrees with mixed precipitation into the afternoon. On Saturday, 7 degrees and same. Over to Prince Edward Island, 6 degrees for today. A mix of sun and cloud with showers into the afternoon. On Friday, a mix of sun and cloud yet again. Evening flurries with a high of 4. 5 degrees on Saturday, flurries and or showers.
Still ahead this morning, we head back to the set of From. We will bring you part 2 of Latavia's exclusive interviews from the set of the locally shot cult horror series. That's in 15 minutes here on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. I'm not gonna lie, besides the monsters being there, I would love to live in Fromtown.
Really? Why?
The buildings they designed are incredible.
What?
Modern, Victorian, like vintage, like so cool.
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed you showing us Fromtown from your experience. Like it's been a gift.
I wish I could go back. Hopefully I can, maybe in the future.
Because they're doing another season,
One
right?
more season, yeah.
One more season.
Also a
Fingers
gift is
crossed.
this food. It's delicious.
Yum.
This round, the arepa, delicious.
That looks
Crispy.
amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's really, really good. No,
Yeah,
it smells great.
divine.
Yeah, we need to get into our things because you need to try this before the crew eats every last bite.
Oh, they deserve it because they work hard.
They do work hard. It's
I tell
true.
you what,
It's
we're usually
true.
the first ones to eat. They're usually the last. So
That is
that's all
very
right.
true.
I'll go to the back of the line. But yeah, Sandra is so sweet at the brewery market. And she said I was just talking to her in the commercial break. She's been there since the end of August.
Really?
She was saying. So, you know, just a few months.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the brewery market. It's a great spot to be in downtown.
Lots to love there,
Halifax.
for sure.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
Now, I'm also looking ahead to the weekend, too, because we were talking as well during the commercial break, like cold now, but if we just hold on, we're going to see some double digits next week.
Yes, so
Really?
Sunday heading into next week looks like double digits. So seasonal daytime highs headed our way, but that is not the case for today. Right now it is
Not today.
Charlottetown. A bit of a cloudy start to the day. We do have a low chance of some showers tracking into the island this afternoon. Temperatures are slowly rising, but still going to remain below seasonal for your daytime highs, so make sure to layer up when heading outdoors this morning. In terms of our current temperatures, we'll take a look at that in just a second. It is currently -1 in Sydney, 1 degree in Halifax, 3 degrees in Fredericton, -4 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and -3 degrees starting off your day in Gander. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in across the Maritime region. Newfoundland and Labrador feeling cooler this morning as well. We do have active weather in the forecast. Snow mixed with rain for parts of Labrador and Newfoundland into the Maritime region. A bit of sunshine starting off the day, but for the most part, a cloudy start to the day, and we are going to see a low chance of showers and or flurries. In terms of the wind forecast, it's going to remain quite light, nothing above 17 kilometers per hour right now in North Cape, 11 into Fredericton, Moncton, and St. John, New Brunswick. We'll take one last look at your weather coming up, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Groups opposed to shale gas development in Nova Scotia are organizing for a long fight.
A starting point is 200 wells. And they were talking about 200 wells between Cookook and Knoll and take about a 3-kilometer path along Knoll Road. That's, you know, we live there.
More than 60 people attended this information session in Cookook last night, inviting residents to bring questions, comments, and concerns about hydraulic fracturing, commonly known as fracking. The province is exploring new possibilities for resource and energy development, but critics say the practice is far too dangerous.
Fracking was here last time, and so we are probably the target this time if it's going to happen again. And the government has geared up to the point that they're ready to hand out bribe money to get some company here. You know, ending the moratorium wasn't good enough.
The issue heated up in Windsor earlier this week during a government-hosted information session with protesters shouting down some of the presentations. Premier Tim Houston pushed back online, arguing resource development is needed for good jobs in Nova Scotia and to pay for services like healthcare. The price of diesel increased in New Brunswick overnight. Diesel jumped by 8.4 cents. The maximum price now $2.18.5. The price of gas did not change in New Brunswick. Nearly 5 years after the fact, police in St. John have arrested 3 people in the death of a local woman.
As a result of a lengthy and complex investigation that was led by the St. John Police Major Crime Unit, 3 arrests have been made in relation to the death of Courtney McKenzie.
The body of 27-year-old Courtney McKenzie was found a week after she was reported missing in May of 2021. Police have arrested and charged 39-year-old Terrence Kelleher on a number of offenses related to McKenzie's death, including manslaughter, kidnapping, forcible confinement, and assault. A 40-year-old man was also arrested for being an accessory after the fact and for improperly interfering with human remains. A 37-year-old woman who was arrested and released 3 years ago is facing charges including improperly interfering with human remains. Nurses will be soon working in every one of New Brunswick's special care homes with the hope the move will ease pressure on the healthcare system.
This means that people are going to be able to get more timely access to care, and they're going to get care close to home or at home in these cases.
People can have very complex care needs, either in their own home or in our special care homes. And prior to this, we were doing great, we were strong, but now we have this secret sauce available in our homes that we didn't have before.
The extramural program provides access to nursing and clinical support for seniors and people with disabilities and is now available to all 424 special care homes in the province. Now, more than 7,000 New Brunswickers are getting nursing care where they live and not in a hospital bed. PEI has sold its cache of American alcohol and local charities are reaping the benefits. The province is donating $600,000 to organizations like the Salvation Army in Charlottetown and Summerside and the Montague Food Bank. You'll remember the American alcohol was pulled off liquor store shelves to protest U.S. tariffs. Several other provinces have been doing the same thing. Finally, Nova Scotia author Rachel Reid and Canadian director Jacob Tierney drew a major fan response at BookCon in New York City as their series Heated Rivalry continues to surge in popularity.
Since this is BookCon, I'm going to assume your cheers are going to be even louder for the woman who started this all, New York Times best-selling author Rachel Reid.
Look at her. The HBO Max adaptation of Reid's hockey romance novels has boosted the sport's visibility and launched its cast to fame. Tierney plans to begin filming season 2 this summer, while Reid is working on another book. Both are expected in 2027. Reid also shared some challenges balancing sudden fame and her Parkinson's diagnosis while continuing to write. She is the woman people want to see and hear from, but Nova Scotia writer making such an impression on readers across the globe.
So proud.
Literally every corner of the globe.
Big reader, love reading. There's different reading influencers and like YouTube pages I've been following, accounts I've been following for years for people. I like their reading taste and I like hearing their opinions on books and recommendations. And it's wild to see these people talking about Rachel Reid.
I know.
Yeah,
Exciting.
and her Heated Rivalry series. It's just amazing. So, and you can watch the series on Crave.
Yes, that's right. Okay, also this is great news too. The province and the Prep Academy have launched the African Nova Scotian Skilled Trade Strategy this week.
We have hundreds of youth. We're on track to serve 650 youth this year. So we have a role to play to teach those students about what skilled trades and apprenticeship is and be a dot connector and a bridge connector to youth organizations, to employers, to industry.
So they aim to recruit, retain, and support youth in the trades and provide one-on-one mentorship to African Nova Scotian high school students and apprentices. Youth, parents, and employers are welcome to sign up for the strategy, where they'll be connected to people and programs within the trade sector. Great program.
Incredible.
Making a difference. And yeah, excited to share that.
Great to make the connections, too, yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of connections, we're going to talk about the community calendar now. Move for Mom. Moms is a 5K being held in Fredericton. Move for Moms. There we go. It's this weekend, Sunday, April 26th at 8:15 a.m. Participants will gather at Northside Green to run in support of maternal mental health. All proceeds raised goes towards making counseling more accessible. So to learn more, you can contact Rebecca. The phone number is on your screen. And bring your friends to a wonderful community luncheon on it's today at 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Hillcrest United Church in Montague. There will be soup, sandwiches, and dessert.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds yum. All right, and the YWCA Halifax Roundtable is hosting Voices in Action this weekend. It's actually a free day for youth by youth. On Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 4 p.m. There will be music, art, storytelling, conversations, so much more. And it will be held at the Prince George Hotel. For additional details, head over to their website. And if you do have an event coming up, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
All right, thanks for that, Latavia. And still ahead on this Thursday, we still have a few more minutes left in the show. We've got the full forecast, and Latavia is going to take us back to Fromville. We'll have another exclusive look at the set in Beaverbank, Nova Scotia, and Latavia's conversation with even more cast members. That's coming up.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:43. We're taking a live look at a very cloudy start to the day in Fredericton. It is currently 3 degrees as you head outdoors, so temperatures are starting to rise, but still feeling quite cool across the region early this morning. So as of right now, it is 2 degrees in Charlottetown, -1 in Sydney, 1 degree in Halifax, -4 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, -2 degrees starting off your day in Corner Brook. Over to our forecast timeline, we are seeing rain mixed with snow for parts of Labrador. Newfoundland still dealing with some flurry activity left over from this system. Into the Maritime region, a bit of sunshine starting off the day, but for the most part seeing mainly cloudy to cloudy skies. And we do have a low chance of showers and or flurries tracking across all 3 Maritime provinces. That flurry activity transitions over to that low chance of showers into the afternoon, but then into this evening, a low chance of showers and or flurries will continue and also expected into Friday's forecast. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, only seeing around 2 centimeters of accumulation for parts of all 3 Maritime provinces, 2 to 10 centimeters across Labrador, parts of Newfoundland. And then for our rainfall outlook, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters for Amherst in Nova Scotia and parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs will range from 3 to 8 degrees. We do have a low chance of showers and or flurries today. A pretty light wind out of the southwest, 15 kilometers per hour. Daytime highs between 4 to 7 for Prince Edward Island. Sunshine starts off your day. Then we're looking at some isolated showers into the afternoon. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. A bit of sunshine early in the morning. Increasing cloudiness, a low chance of showers and or flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 4 to 8. For the rest of Nova Scotia, also seeing a bit of a wintry mix, a low chance of it happening, and daytime highs between 4 to 7. For Labrador City, looking at a high of -3, we do have light snowfall transitioning over to freezing drizzle into the evening. Flurry activity starts off the day in St. John's, Newfoundland, a high of 3, mainly cloudy skies, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Latavia. 8:45 now. After the season 4 premiere, the new season of From has fans clamoring for more. Latavia heads back to Beaverbank to share another look at her time in Fromville. This time she sits down with actors Ricky Lee and Liz Saunders.
We've come back over and over again because we failed the first time.
From is back and fresh off its season 4 premiere.
Knowledge comes with cost. Your wife shouldn't have dug that hole.
We head back to Beaverbank to catch up with actors Ricky He, who plays Kenny Liu, the young, idealistic yet resilient deputy of Fromville, and Liz Saunders, the battle-hardened leader of Colony House, known as Donna in the series. Kenny Liu is Sheriff Boyd's trusted right hand. After suffering unimaginable loss, he's ready for a new character arc.
It's been a lot. It has been a lot, and it's a lot of the work is like to not bring the work home because, yeah, it's been a very heavy couple seasons for Kenny. I talked to John in between the seasons, just kind of saying to him, you know, Kenny is kind of like Boyd's Robin to his Batman, and so like going into this season, I was like, it'd be really cool if we could have Kenny go from Robin like into his Nightwing era a little bit, and without spoiling too much, I think we're getting a bit of that for sure.
As for Saunders' character Donna, although pushed to her breaking point, her status as a pillar of this community and close relationships will continue, although strained.
She's so tied to Boyd. I mean, even though they have their issues, she cares deeply about Boyd, Ellis, and Fatima. Yeah. And that's hard. And I think, but what I think we'll see in this season, there's a development, but more development with Tabitha and Donna and the things we face together.
As we approach the beginning of the end, the cast of From gears up for their return to the streets of Fromville for the 5th and final season. Just like life in Fromville, when it comes to character survival, scripts, and the all-important renewal, the future is not ours to see.
In terms of receiving them, we don't receive them all at once. We don't know anything until we get one. And John Griffin, he always finds ways not to tell us things. But when it ends, we don't know. And then we wait and wait and wait, and everybody goes, are we being renewed? And then months later, we find out for sure we're being renewed. And really, if you're there at the end of one season, you'll be there at the beginning of the next one. But you don't always know. You could be one episode in. Like, you know, you'll get a phone call from John saying, would you like lunch? I don't know if you always get lunch. There could be people on set right now that know that they might be going.
Hello.
Okay, so Donna apparently said, well, Liz apparently said that if you get the call, it means that you're going to get killed off. So what I want to know is, have you received the death call?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. But I will say that, yeah, sometimes you get that, like, random in the middle of the night phone call from John Griffin, and you're like, oh, snap. Oh, okay. Okay, he just wants to grab coffee. Wait, he wants to grab coffee? And so it's a little bit of a jump scare in of itself. But, yeah, I haven't gotten I don't know.
The one-of-a-kind set of From sits empty, waiting for its prisoners' return. And after months of being away, he says it's actually pretty easy diving back into character due to the eerie immersion of his surroundings.
You know, you guys got a chance to take a look at the set today, and it really is, it's really easy when you're surrounded by really, really talented cast members, and then also just a really immersive set. Like, everything here looks so good, you kind of just fall into the space a bit.
Saunders agrees and finds a special connection in writer John Griffin's story and the magic of the Maritime.
It's a really unique experience. Like, I feel and I'm not just sort of blowing smoke here. It's rare you get to be in a series. Everybody is so congenial. Everyone is behind the story. And that's the other thing that I'll say that I love about here. And I think it affects the crews here. Storytelling is really important in the Maritimes. The sense of telling a good yarn. And so the crews here are so invested in the telling of the story. So it's just like, it's really joyful to come to set.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. So would you pack up a picnic and go to the set of Fromville?
I would.
You
would. Knowing that the monsters aren't real.
Right.
If they were, then absolutely not.
No, I love it. The set is so good.
So cool. They did an incredible job.
Yeah, is that pool swimmable? Because I'd love to clean it out and try to give it a go.
Right? Maybe.
We have to get somebody to get that bus out of it. That would be an effort.
Yeah, someone's also bricked up in the wall, so.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, let's leave that.
Oh, man. It is a scary place. The impression I got, too, from the cast members that you've interviewed is just how much they love being a part of it and dread maybe potentially getting killed off.
Yeah. They love it here. Awesome. That's the great part.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, well, great job. I'm so glad you got to go to that set.
Thank you.
So we were asking earlier in the show if you love picnics, and if you do, where do you like to go? We're hoping for warmer picnic weather soon. Here's what you had to say. Jessica, New Waterford, my favorite picnic spot is Colliery Lands Park in New Waterford.
Ooh, cool. Never been. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, next time you're up there. Troy from Dieppe, our barbecue picnic place is Beaumont, New Brunswick. And listen, they're not waiting for the good weather because I've got a photo of them. Look.
Wow.
There you go.
They're gonna go and they're gonna have a good time. But look how sunny it was.
Yeah, very clear skies.
They know how to live. This is living.
Yeah. LJ from Middleton, we love having a picnic on the grounds of Fort Anne in Annapolis Royal. It is a Canada Day tradition.
Ooh. It's a great spot.
That is a beautiful spot. And you know what? I find we're usually so lucky on Canada Day to have like sunny, hot conditions.
Ooh.
At the beginning of July. But yeah, great spot. Jan says, I love a good beach day picnic at Mavelet Beach in Clare, Nova Scotia, with cold drinks and sand. Witches.
I love it.
That's the one thing you have to be so careful not to get the sand.
Yeah, basically.
In your food.
That's a big risk at the beach, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mavelet Beach is one of those really nice white sand beaches in the South Shore. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, near Clare. I don't know if I've been to that one.
No, me neither, but I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, there's so many good ones.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to explore more.
So there have been a lot of dance recitals and competitions in our region lately.
Yes.
Yes, there have.
There was Dance is having their big show Saturday at Old New Landing.
Yes. And there was a big one at Zatzman Sportsplex just, I think, last weekend in Dartmouth.
It is the season. So this is not in our region, but here is one that's going viral on the internet for offering a dad's dance-off category. Check it out. So this one dad seems to kind of be stealing the show, but let's just enjoy all the many moves and moods of the dance competition. A lot of people putting their heart and soul into it.
I like the ones that actually can't dance.
Well,
Those are awesome.
Yeah, this guy seems to have some moves. The guy to the side that just did kind of like the handspring. Whoa!
She didn't kick anyone.
The guy leaping.
Did you see that leap?
The guy in the back twerking. Oh my gosh. Oh, he won.
Oh, he did win.
He won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
But look, what a great idea to raise funds.
That's incredible.
I mean, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Fun for the adults.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wonder if the person recording, they must have a relation to that guy. I wonder. Because they're on him the whole time.
They were on him the whole time. Exactly.
Or they're a fan.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. That is fun. That is definitely fun.
Speaking of hitting the stage, we hope you join us on the show tomorrow. We start bright and early at 6 a.m. We're going to be talking about PEI Fashion Week, which is going to be coming up really soon.
Very excited to talk about that. Yeah, that sounds like fun. It is National Volunteer Week. We're going to talk about the importance of that week.
Absolutely. And Saltscapes Expo is returning, and they have new additions this year.
Always a fun tradition in our region. Okay, yay! That's our Thursday show all done. Good morning, Suji and or Bruce. And we'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m.